Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, your girl, the one and only Tiffany E, aka Smackdown TV2, and I am here to give you guys all of the tea when it comes to wrestling and maybe a little bit of odds and ends in between there. So why don't you go ahead, go get your snacks, go get your juice, go get you a good drink, a good glass of wine if you can drink it. If you're underage, don't be drinking, okay? Go on and get you some juice or something and sit back and listen as we kiki and holler about wrestling. Because over here, you get a plethora of things when it comes to my show, okay? You get wrestling commentary.
No benefit of the doubt. Dr. Phil say don't do that. Dr. Phil say when somebody show you who they are, and so did Maya Angelou, believe them. Them two hoes are snakes. They've been snakes, and them hoes was like that when you got there, and they like that now, so fuck them both. And they did the right thing by letting them headline WrestleMania. They most definitely deserve to headline WrestleMania, and that is how you close a mania.
What else we get? You'll also get a weekly recap of every single show that WWE has to offer. Monday Night Raw after show, NXT after show, and of course a Friday Night Smackdown after show. You'll also get a recap of all the Big 5 PLEs. I even do the Saudi shows for you. And then, if it's good and worth the time, I may even throw a little AEW in there. But of course, I will do my best to make sure I recap as many PLEs as possible. If I don't have it, then I'll throw it to one of my friends who do know it. We also cover pop culture, and we have really good time over here with lifestyle and just giving advice. So, if you're ready, it's showtime, and that is on the ancestors, baby.
All right, party peoples. I'm not going to be on here long. I'm going to make this short and sweet. We got top commenter of the day, and I promised that I would start making top commenter of the day 5 people. Can you? Yeah, for now. Hold on, y'all. Hey, Pop, you calling me? Okay, I'll close the door so I don't bother you or Tay. If you need something, just text me. All right, y'all. Tears, it was very early. I hadn't even started the show yet, and she was here at 9:59. But she commented at 10, which is right when I went live. So she is the top commenter of the day. Shout out to Tears for being early and on time. She was early and on time, y'all. Okay. She said, which is surprising after the day I had. I'm sorry you had a bad day, but hopefully talking about SmackDown and Fastlane and Impact will help you have a better day. Okay? We're going to talk about all wrestling today. We're going to get it done and out the way. I watched Impact yesterday, finished up the last of Impact this morning. And of course, I watched SmackDown. All right. If you follow me on the internets over on Instagram, ladies and gentlemen, the ticker is always scrolling at the bottom. At least I always try to make sure it's scrolling at the bottom. Then you know that I'm posting SmackDown receipts. Every week I do full commentary on SmackDown on Instagram. So y'all can go on over there and check that out if you haven't. If you are some new subscriber over here, hello. My name is Tiffany E, and I am Psych Design TV2, ladies and gentlemen, and I am the proprietor of this channel, and we have fun over here, okay? Nope. I have moderators in my comments. So if you're coming in and you're new and you want to talk about wrestling, you can just try to keep your comments as nice as possible. The moderators are very swift with that block button. And so you might want to just keep your cool. And when we establish a rapport and we chilling, we kicking it, then you can pop off the way you want to pop off. But don't come out the gate like that. You know what I'm saying? Give us some time to get to know you like that. You feel me? With all that being said, Tears is top commenter of the day, like I said, as is Nika, Kayla, Aaliyah. That's 4, and then I need a 5th. Let me see. There he is. Jonelle is my 5th. So these are our top commenters of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into SmackDown. And what had happened was turn your thing down just a little bit. Now, StreamYard got some new moving video graphics for the background, and I thought the little blue wavy lines was cute, so I put that back there instead of Smackdown. But I'm thinking about changing it because I'm so indecisive, honey. But it was cute. I was like, oh, they got nice little videos now you can put in the background. That's cute. Let's see if they change it. Now they got bubbles. They got little bubbles that move in the background, baby. It's a lot. But we're going to go ahead and switch it over to my Smackdown background because I just like the way that look. Any whoosies. Tay, hello, how are ya? It wasn't a bad day. It was just long, and I did a lot of running around. I hope your foot is okay because I know you're having trouble with your foot, and I don't want you to hurt yourself. So take it easy when you get home. Please put your foot up. You know, if Malcolm is there and he can help, let him help you. Because if you was running around, I know you probably in a little bit of pain right now. President of the United States of Tiffany, Piriana, that is my official title. Okay, it's my official title. Smackdown, ladies and gentlemen, came on at 8 o'clock as it always does, and we had a good time. Well, at least I had a good time watching it. It was fun. It was interesting. Okay. We love that for us. All right, let's get into SmackDown's show. It opened with why am I losing so many people? What did I do? What did I do? It don't matter. I'll talk to the 4 people that's in here, child. Hold on. Let me go to the group chat and tell everybody I'm live. Hold on.
You live on the right channel?
Yes, I am. You can turn the fan on in just a second. I just want to upload these. Hold on, y'all. We're going to get this popping. All right. So, the show started off with Jay. Actually, it started off with LA Knight. LA Knight was the guy who came out and basically was, getting ready to talk his shit. And that's when Jay Uso, Pauline, and Solo came out there to basically cut that off. Paul was talking a lot and really wasn't saying much, so I ignored a lot of what he said, to be honest. I don't really care about what he said because it's very reminiscent of what he always says. So long story short, the boys went back and forth on the microphone, as did Jimmy Uso. And of course, they decided to make a main event match for tonight. It was going to be Jimmy Uso versus LA Knight in just a one-off match, okay? Now, they decided that they wasn't going to have this match and they was just going to attack LA Knight. And of course, LA Knight, he had a little backup. You know what I'm saying? He had a little backup. He had backup in the form of John Cena. John Cena came out there to, aid in his partner. And that kind of evened the odds, and that stopped everybody from having their little fight. It led to the match that happened next, which was the women's match. The women were up first, and they had a tag team match between 3 of the competitors competing in the triple threat match. And of course, the 4th was Bayley on Io's side. For the most part, this match was really substantial. It was pretty long. It took up a good chunk of the show, which I appreciate from Triple H. But the girls fought it out. There was some miscommunications on both sides. Charlotte accidentally kicked Asuka in the face towards the end. And then this in turn caused Bayley to knock Io off of the apron towards the end of their matches, towards the end of the match as well. And that led to Charlotte being able to capitalize on that and hit Bayley with the natural selection for the pin. This didn't sit too well with the Empress of Tomorrow, but she saw what happened in terms of the miscommunication. However, she still is not happy that she got kicked in the face. These women are going to be opponents tomorrow at Fastlane. So I'm pretty sure Asuka was like, I'll catch your ass tomorrow. You feel me? Now, Io was thoroughly confused as to how she ended up on the floor, basically, and Bailey was just, dumbfounded, couldn't explain it, didn't have an explanation. It was what it was. And Dakota, she just dared. Okay. Dakota will not be cleared to wrestle until January, which is usually around the Royal Rumble, which is probably where she will probably re-debut or help out in terms of being a part of, Damage Control fully. So good for her. Then there was a singles match between Bobby Lashley and his drawn-on eyebrows. The Street Profits was there in support of Lashley. And, of course, the current United States champion, Rey Mysterio, had his whole crew of the LWO in tow. Now, to be fair, I ignored this match because I don't give a shit about Bobby Lashley. I have said this on multiple occasions, and I already see where this is going. Okay, so Bobby and the Street Profits pretty much dismantled 2/3, 2/4 of LWO, because it was only two of them, or 2/5, okay, because it's two of them and it's 5 members. So they dismantled 2/5 of LWO. Zelina Vega did not involve herself because I guess she felt like all these men is biggins and I ain't got time, because Bobby Lashley, Dawkins, and Montez are all in the same height. The height difference between them is literally centimeters. Like, they were standing there and I'm like, oh, these niggas the same height? Okay, especially Dawkins. That's a big motherfucker. Okay, but anyways, Rey Mysterio was keeping up with Bobby Lashley, but ultimately Rey Mysterio got beat by Lashley. They cheated enough to get him to win, which was interesting. But all the Street Profits took out Joaquin and I believe it's Cruz, Del Cruz. I can't remember his name, but I'm gonna say it's Del Cruz. Somebody could correct me in the comments. They took them out. They was in the trainer's room. So when after they went to commercial and came back, they were told that they were not going to be cleared to compete at neither one of them is cleared to compete at Fastlane. So now as it stands, it is still Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar, but they do not have a third. So Rey says he's going to make some phone calls. He knows who to call. I don't know who he's going to call. But if it's somebody like Conan, then I quit. Okay. I'm not watching that if that's who shows up. Okay. Because hell no. Okay. So I had it right. So it was Cruz. 2/3. It was Cruz Del or Del Cruz something. Okay, relax. You can't even see me. I'm not even on screen. So calm down. So this match is going to be a mystery, but I imagine once they get done with this match at Fastlane, it's going to be Bobby Lashley versus Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship, probably in 2 weeks. Okay. And then they're probably going to drop that title to Lashley, and then they're going to move into a new space with Lashley and the Street Profits at his side. With all that being said, I didn't really pay much attention to this match, so I'm sorry for that, and I'm going to move forward accordingly. All right. So the other match that they had tonight was with Austin Theory. Austin Theory had a match with Dragon Lee, and this was Dragon Lee's first match on Smackdown, but it wasn't his first main roster match. His first main roster match was over on Raw last week. But he did well. I think it was last week or the week before last. It was week before last. He did exceptionally well in this match. I expected nothing less. He looked great. He wore white and gold, and he looked good. He looked good in the match against Austin Theory. I give Austin Theory a lot of shit, but he's an excellent wrestler. He always has been, and he always will be. His character development needs a lot of work, but he's just an asshole, and that's pretty much the logistics of who he is as a character. With all that being said, while he was in his match, it was pretty even kill between the two men. But of course, Austin Theory had an ace in the hole in Grayson Waller, and he came out there dressed like he was finna go to a luau, in an Americanized luau at that, with no respect to the culture. And Cameron Grimes came out there to even the odds later on, which led to Dragon Lee getting a roll-up pin on Austin Theory. It was a decent match. It was pretty simple between the two men. It was going back and forth. It was fun to watch. I'll give them that. But ultimately, the match ended with the pin on Austin Theory, and he was not a happy camper. Okay. With all that being said, the final minutes of this show, there were some pieces that led up to it. So Rhea Ripley and Judgment Day decided to show up in full force. Dominic has his newly acquired North American Championship, which makes him a two-time North American champion. And he and his mommy and his brothers are all walking through the halls of Smackdown, and they decided to take up shop inside the Bloodline's locker room. Now, Roman hasn't been around for almost a month, which leads me to believe that everybody thinks that they can pretty much do whatever they want. You can say whatever you want to about Roman Reigns, but he ruled WWE with a very tight iron fist. And there were very few people who could rise up against him, be it in the Judgment Day or Bloodline or not. There were very few factions that could rise against him and actually get away with doing what the Judgment Day has been able to do. And Roman's got to tighten up shit. If you're gonna stay the tribal chief, then the tribal chief gonna have to run his camp from within the camp, not at the base. You got to be at camp, baby. Okay? Because the subjects are running wild, and all you got is court jesters and clowns, okay?
The inmates are running the asylum.
Pretty much. And your own guy, your own wise man did not call you to make sure you was okay with the particular things that was happening on your show. And you had somebody else who's supposed to be running their own backyard coming in telling you what they can and can't do in yours. You should feel violated. Especially by a bitch like Rhea Ripley coming in telling Paul Heyman he need to authorize what she want him to do. I know a succubus when I see it. I know that bitch. I know that skinny bitch. I know a succubus when I see it. You had to pull a Rasputia. Miss Skinny bitch gonna be there? Are you talking about Miss Ling Ling? Nah, I'm talking about Miss Thing Thing from that picnic with that damn belt on. That's what we talking about. We talking about her. Now, from what I understood, the Judgment Day said they didn't have no leaders. But it's mighty funny that everybody's taking orders from Rhea Ripley and nobody's running their own ship. She's running the ship. Everybody's following suit. I'm just saying. Now, what had happened was they decided to do if I scratch your back, you scratch my back situation. I tend to tune out when Rhea Ripley talks often. So I don't know what she said to Pauline, and I don't know what Pauline had to authorize via the tribal chief. Be that as it may, it seemed that once they got out there to do their match, the Judgment Day ended up coming out later after everything kind of broke down. Solo came out after the match had already started, and he decided to come in there and break everything up. So the match never really got to begin or end. It ended in a disqualification because he attacked LA Knight, which gave LA Knight the W. Now, Solo, LA Knight, John Cena ended up coming out there, and you had Jimmy. All of them was in the ring, and it was even kill, okay? But that's when the Judgment Day came out and surrounded the ring. Not only Judgment Day, but JD McDonough, because Rhea Ripley authorized that JD McDonough be there. Now, you've got JD McDonough, Damian, Finn, and you got Baby Dom right here. And you got JD, Dom, Finn, Damian. That's 4 dudes. Plus the 2 extras with Solo and Jimmy. That's 6 people against 2. That's when Jey Uso's music hit, and then later on, Cody Rhodes' music hit. It was 4 against 6. There was nobody else that was coming out. They were the only ones left. Now, what they could have done is brought AJ Styles back, you know what I'm saying, and brought Carl Anderson back and made it even 6-on-6 because they got beef with the Bloodline too. You feel me? But they didn't do that. They left it at the 4-on-4. So the boys was in there, and Pauline basically said, "Oh hell no, this is not our fight. Cody and Jay Uso was not a part of the plan. We backing out." So he pulled Solo from around there, and they went to the top of the key. Jimmy stayed, so they got in the ring and they scrapping. Everything is breaking down. Everybody fighting. Everybody hitting finishers. People getting laid out. Dominic didn't even get to get in there. They threw his little bony ass out before he could even get started. They took everybody else out. They had Jimmy. They had Jey Uso flying. They had they had LA Knight flying. Everybody was flying. Then Solo ended up getting hit with a he got hit with John Cena's signature. Then JD McDonough ended up suffering the worst of it all. He got hit with everybody's finisher in the ring and was laid out. The show goes off with the Judgment Day laid out. Everybody's laid out. Bloodlines laid out. It's embarrassing. It was 6 of them on 4. Okay? Embarrassing. Now that leads me to believe that heading into Fastlane, things are going to be a little muddy. Okay. But overall, SmackDown was a solid show. It did what it was supposed to do, which was get us into the next set of shows for WWE. You are interested in Fastlane? They played a video package for Seth and Shinsuke. Okay. And of course, they also played a video package for NXT. I'll explain NXT in a second. All right. Let's talk about Fastlane. All right. Fastlane is October 7th, and everybody's gonna be there except Bianca. Bianca not gonna be there, and Becky not gonna be there. They the only ones on the poster that ain't gonna be there. Okay. Bianca might show up. She might show up and wreak a little havoc on the girls. You know, I would if I was her. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into Fastlane. Before we get all the way into it, if you won't be in Indianapolis, Indiana, then you can go on over to the Circle Center Mall and get you some Fastlane merch. They got t-shirts and belts and all kinds of stuff. Exclusive t-shirts that you will only find during the Fastlane event. Okay, so if you want this stuff, you're going to have to go to the store and get it, or have a friend who's going to head on over to Fastlane, buy something for you at the event. And usually, once they sell out of that merch, they do not sell it again. All right. So let's get into it. All right. Fastlane is a very short match card. The girls are going and fighting for Io Sky's WWE Women's Championship. This is a triple threat. This is the second triple threat we've had this year vying for this particular title. Asuka was involved in the first one, as was Charlotte Flair, and so was Io Sky. This is how she obtained her WWE Women's Championship with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Bianca Belair was the one she was able to get the title off of at the time. Okay, so now you've got 3 of the 4 women who were involved in the very first triple threat match that happened earlier this year. And Bianca Belair, she's nowhere to be found for now, but she might be a small fry, a little player in this particular love triangle we got here for this WWE Women's Championship. I don't know if Io's gonna retain. I would like for Io to retain. Honestly, I think her and Asuka going at it again on the main stage of WrestleMania would be fire, or Elimination Chamber, her going at it again. But I have a sneaking suspicion that Io Sky is gonna be put in that Elimination Chamber next year, and she'll be defending her championship in it. However, they may put Rhea's ass in that chamber next year. I don't know. We're going to wait and see. But the girls are going to be fighting tomorrow. Another match that's set up for tomorrow is the tag team titles will be contested. The Judgment Days, Damian Priest and Finn Balor, are your current undisputed tag team champions. They are going to be going up against Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, and they're challenging for the titles. I'm not quite sure as to why they would have to have them challenge for the titles. I don't understand that, but I guess it's to add a little smoke to the fire. But quite frankly, to me, well, they haven't defended the titles. So, okay, it makes sense. Sure. They're not going to lose them to Cody and Jey Uso. I don't think. There might be I don't know. There's probably going to be some miscommunication in here. And like I said, Kevin's not going to be a happy camper knowing that these two could possibly win those titles, especially when he beat Jey Uso for the titles. So this could all culminate into some bullshit. But we love a good messy story. Okay. Let me turn my phone down. All right. Moving on. This match is probably my least favorite match of the night. So Joaquin and Cruz del Toro are both out. They are no longer going to be able to even replace one or the other in this particular match. And it's just Santos and Rey Mysterio for now, and they have a mystery partner. Rey claims he has someone that he can call, but he never said who that person was. He simply alluded to it. So now we have to wait until tomorrow to find out who he's going to be challenging or who's going to be wrestling with him to challenge against Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Mark my words. Bobby Lashley more than likely has earned an opportunity over Rey Mysterio for that United States Championship, and I guarantee you that he will be defending it probably within the next 2 weeks or at Crown Jewel. It is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. With all that being said, these two are the last two matches of the night and the biggest events of the night. John Cena and LA Knight are teaming up to defend, to basically fight against the Bloodline. The Bloodline currently consists of Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa, but they're, reigning, defending tribal chief Roman Reigns is scheduled to show up on Smackdown next week for Smackdown season premiere. We can't have our number one guy missing the season premiere. Oh, nay. That would not be good now, would it? That would not be good. Sir, ladies and gentlemen, I would imagine they would want Johnny. Of course, the fans want John Cena and LA Knight to win. And of course, Roman's gonna want his bloodline to win, at least give him something. He like, shit, I ain't been here in almost a month, and you motherfuckers is getting your ass beat every week. I can't leave y'all in charge to do shit. How dare you? It's just messy, honey. Sir, they look like they moved Dragon Lee up on the main roster, it says. Finally. Ladies and germs, we're seeing the Survivor Series teams being built. Remember, Alexis said that, ladies and gentlemen, because that is possibly true. But we're going to move into a space where that's not. We're going to move into a space like we don't know that, okay? We're not going to project or create something out of our minds. We're going to let Alexis live in her Delulu land on her own. Her Delulu land might be right, but we're not gonna say anything about that. We're gonna move forward. So who do I think is going to win this match? I do think it's going to be the Bloodline, but it very well could be John Cena. This is his one match that he has a year, and he probably is going to win it. With LA Knight's momentum as he's been rolling as of lately, and John Cena, of course, having his one match a year. He lost that match last time, right? Didn't he lose it last time?
Yeah, against Austin Theory.
Yeah, and then year before last, it was Roman, right? When he had that match against Roman. It was at Extreme Rules, I think.
I don't know.
Anyway, we don't know who's going to win, but I'm assuming it's going to be Johnny Boy and LA Knight. Moving into the final match on the card for Fastlane. This is one of the most sought after and the biggest matches of the night. This is Seth freaking Rollins, who's currently the World Heavyweight Champion. And you've got Shinsuke Nakamura, one of the best villains WWE has been able to conjure up next to Roman Reigns in the last, 5 years. With all that being said, Seth Rollins is still doing his first. This is his first time ever competing in a last man standing match. What are you looking for?
Cellular device. Don't worry about it. I'll find it.
Hold on, y'all. It's driving me nuts. You like looking around and it's weirding me out. So Shin is challenging Seth freaking Rollins for his championship, and he is not holding back. It's full on a last man standing match, one of the most brutal matches in wrestling, next to being inside of a cage. If you ask me, the cage is easier to take. Well, the cage is harder, in my opinion. All that steel surrounding you and you bouncing off that cage is fucking crazy. Okay. Anywhoosies. Rhea look like she got a praise gimmick, like she be asking for people. I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I'm gonna go ahead about my business. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is your match card for Fastlane. Who do I think is gonna win rapid fire? I'm gonna give it to Seth. I think that Seth's gonna take it. I'm gonna say Edge and LA Knight are gonna win. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, no matter who their partner is, to be fair. I'm going to go Judgment Day on this one. I just don't see Cody and Jey Uso being champion again. Although them being champion again, in my opinion, can cause some more discord between Kevin, Jay, and the whole nine. It just would make things even more of a nuisance for him and cause Kevin to go over the deep end. And then for the women's championship, honestly, I feel like this could go either way. I would love for EO to keep the title. I think EO really hasn't had a chance to truly work as a singles champion yet. And it's all been kind of tied and tethered to Bayley. And I want to see what she could do on her own. So I would let her retain. But I have a sneaking suspicion that Charlotte Flair is going to edge out and win this championship at Fastlane. And that's going to start her arc with Bianca Belair going back and forth and possibly ending it at WrestleMania 40. With all that being said, did I say Edge and LA Knight? My bad. I'm in John Cena. This is the Nakamura we should have gotten when he had that feud with AJ. Agreed. Rhea and Dom got the same hairdo. But no rematch. She doesn't need to. She just defended her championship at the last pay-per-view. And right now, there's no story built for Rhea Ripley other than what's going on within the Judgment Day. Rhea Ripley is not in need to defend her title, if we're being fair. Io, on the other hand, is definitely in need to defend hers. They said, bless you, babe.
Thank you.
So let's move on to NXT. NXT has a lot going on right now, okay? From the breakout tournament, we know that Kaylani Jordan has surpassed Izzy Dame, and they're probably going to put up Carmen Petrovic and Jada Parker next week, or Danny Palmer and Lola Vice. Either way, Lola Vice is probably going to surpass Danny Palmer, and I believe Ariana Grace is going to beat Jakara Jackson. And then you're going to have Jakara Ariana versus Kaylani, and Lola's probably going to go up against Carmen Petrovic. I don't know. We're going to make it so that towards the end, it's going to be Lola probably versus Kaylani, and Lola probably is going to end up willing out. Either way it goes, I think Lola is going to win. She said, I need someone to go deep on Rhea since she running around chasing this dork all the time. How about I swing by your house and say hi to your man? Ugh, don't nobody want to fuck Dominic. If it's Buddy Murphy, I can understand. Buddy Murphy ain't a bad looking dude. But anyways, the women's breakout tournament is still going on and is going to continue to happen. So everybody was talking about that, but not only that, but the show is completely stacked for next week. I forgot that next week was going to be sweeps week since they had the writer's strike. Everything kind of got pushed back. So I'm going to say that this isn't about Edge being over in AEW, and this is more about sweeps and proving to whoever is going to be vying for NXT and Raw that both of these shows have viability to draw in major numbers. Because if it was just about Edge, they could have stacked the deck last week, and they didn't. So I'm going to say this has more to do with sweeps and proving that NXT is a commodity to have on your streaming service or cable TV service. With all that being said, Asuka is going up against Roxanne Perez. I know Roxanne Perez got to be ecstatic, okay? She has been in the ring with some of the elite and has had some of the best matches she could have with those women. She got to wrestle Miko Satomura, and I know that must have been like a bucket list match for her, and this also has to be a bucket list match for her. This better eat. I want this match to snap hard. Roxanne has been serving as of lately. She's been going out there and going hard every single time. She's not as timid as she used to be. She's got a bit of an edge to her, and we all know Asuka's gonna give you everything she got every chance she get, baby. Okay, it's never a day where Asuka is not giving you all she got. Okay, so this is gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see how this rolls out for the girls, but this is the official infographic for NXT Asuka versus Roxanne Perez. Then you have this match. Okay. She said that's what I meant. Ew, not the fuck Buddy Murphy. He loved it in her. Rhea's look tonight was cute though. I didn't like her boots. She had masculine boots on and I didn't like them. She said, and in Dom's case, I'll stop by his girl's house on the way home. Ew, y'all are whores. Stop it. So Carmelo Hayes is going up against Braun Breaker due to the fact that Braun Breaker has been talking mad shit to Carmelo Hayes over losing his NXT championship to Ilya Dragunov. So Braun Breaker was trying to plant a seed of doubt in Carmelo Hayes' head while also causing a dissension between him and Trick Williams. John Cena saw and said, let me call homeboy up right quick. Hey, listen, in order for you to be a 15-time champion, you have to lose 15 times, babe. Losing is a part of the gig. You pick your ass up, you dust yourself off, and you keep on going. To help you get yourself into a champion's mindset, I will be there on NXT next week. I'll be in your corner. So Carmelo Hayes obviously is hyped. He geeked. And all the while, Pauline is always listening and lurking around every corner. Okay. And he was like, well, since John Cena's bringing his semi-bald-headed ass to NXT, I might as well bring my semi-bald-headed ass to NXT too. Bring Tribal Chief. Hey, we ain't doing nothing Tuesday, right? You ain't got nothing to do? No, you ain't? Okay, great. I'm gonna swing on over to NXT, see what I can do with Braun Breaker. Maybe I can, pull some extra clients on the weekends. Just kind of set myself up for when shit go to the haywire with the bloodline. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So Pauline waited till the show was over to announce to everybody that, well, since John Cena's going to be in Carmelo Hayes' corner, I decided I was going to be in Braun Breaker's corner. The man who slathers himself in the darkest of darkest self-tanners and uses Just for Men on his beard because he got spaces and he don't want nobody to know that he do. I swear he used topics or something to fill in his beard because I don't believe it. Anyways, not only that, okay, they are continuing to stack the deck, okay, continuing to stack the deck, all right? She does. He said, bless you again. Aaliyah said it at first, you don't succeed. You better try again, babe. As if what we already have isn't enough. Asuka, John Cena, and Paul Heyman all in the building together. Cody Rhodes is showing up on NXT because he has a major announcement, and I think it has a lot to do with his father and the Dusty Classic. And I think he's gotten himself together to the point where he can show up at NXT and not feel weird about it, which is a good sign for Cody. With all that being said, there was a massive rumor that The Undertaker was returning and he was going to show up on NXT next week. And it was all but confirmed today on Monday Night Raw when the segment was over talking about NXT and we heard The Undertaker's music hit towards the end. Undertaker is more than likely going to show up on NXT, and everything was all over Twitter this morning. And I waited until I got full confirmation from WWE. And now we know for sure that he more than likely is going to rear his head in NXT. This is a full-on show of what WWE has to offer specifically for NXT. Now, I don't know exactly what they're going to do for Monday Night Raw. This would be the season premiere for Monday Night Raw as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm kind of weirded out by the fact that they've stacked these shows as high as they can. For Smackdown, Roman's coming back. For NXT, they've got all the superstars popping up on NXT. But nobody's saying anything about Monday Night Raw and what they're going to be doing over there either. Something tells me that some mysterious, nefarious, and felonious intent is going to go down on Monday Night Raw. And if you're not there, you're going to miss it. She said, that's a shock. Yes. Oh my God, he's going to get with Joe Gacy. Well, somebody better get his ass together because he straight up cussed at Ava Raine and told her to leave, that the schism tree was dead. I was like, po Ava. Watch he be the host of Halloween Havoc. You know what, Don? I won't be mad at it. I mean, he is the dead man. So, sure. Let him host it. He ain't doing nothing. That one-man tour is, it's moving, I guess. It's doing stuff, you know. But ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. There is your Smackdown, your Fastlane, and your NXT for next week. We have one more thing to discuss wrestling-wise, ladies and gentlemen, and that is Impact. So if you're not an Impact fan, it is okay for you to leave. I appreciate you coming by. We love that for you. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow after Fastlane is over. We'll be discussing Fastlane and what we're going to be moving into next. So to be fair, so you guys can know what we're moving into next, the next big show for WWE outside of Fastlane is Crown Jewel. Y'all know WWE has to do 2 shows a year for the Saudi people. They got to do their show. It is scheduled for November 4th. And I don't know how to say this. In Riyadh? Is that how you say it? Because I was calling it Riyadh for years. Is it Riyadh? Is that how you say it? Because that's what I'm seeing. So, if that's not how you say it, somebody please tell me. Hold on. What does that say?
I think it is Riyadh.
Is it Riyadh?
Riyadh, yeah.
Okay. The next pay-per-view for WWE is Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel usually happens overseas in the Saudi, in Saudi. They usually either go to Jeddah or they go to Riyadh, which I think I'm saying it right. If I'm saying it wrong, I am so sorry. That's how I say it. Oh, okay, cool. Love that. Thank you. I got it right. Amazing. He said, I said the same thing. Let his ass do it. Shit, he dead anyway. He dead. Child, I forgot about that, baby. It's coming, honey. They got about 4 more years of doing this, I think. Look, Mark Calloway is a total asshole, but Taker, he'll always hold a special place in my spooky soul. No, I'm not mad at you happy about Undertaker being there. It's fine. You gotta learn how to separate the character from the you know what I'm saying? I ain't the biggest fan of Undertaker, but I ain't gonna shit on what he did. Same thing for Hulk Hogan, even though he racist. So it is what it is. If that's that's who you popping for. I'm not mad about it. You live your best life. You know what I'm saying? She said, boo, tomatoes, tomatoes. Crown Jewel usually hit, and a lot of people be missing out. And I know y'all don't like watching it because the Saudis own it, but Crown Jewel hits. It really does. I won't say that about the show they do early in the year. What is the name of that show they do early in the year?
Whatever show it is, like they just pick one at random.
No, because you got Crown Jewel at the end of the year, and then they do something. A super show or some kind over there. I don't know. They did Night of Champions over there, right? This year? It was because Seth won the title there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was Night of Champions they did over there. She said he makes it hard, Tiff. I'm like, look, we all know what The Undertaker was to all of us when we was kids. Mark Calloway is a totally different human being. So the only way you're going to do it is be able to separate church and state. Oh my God, kiddo will be in the 6th or 7th grade by the time the Saudi deal is over. Yeah. They did Elimination Chamber on 1 year over there 1 year too. They did. So this year it was not Night of Champions because that's when Seth won the title. Yeah, and that was when
just picked one of the
they just picked the pay-per-view and decided to have it over in Saudi this year. And then they kept Crown Jewel in November because they had a pay-per-view that they would, and they might do it again next year and do Night of Champions over there, which I didn't have a problem with. I thought that was fine. So anyways, Crown Jewel is going to be over in Saudi and it's going to be in Riyadh. So she said that year Bianca won the chamber to face Becky at Mania. That is correct. You are 100% right, Tirza. I remember that. So they're going to have Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel is set to be scheduled for November 4th. This is the go-between between Fastlane and Survivor Series in Chicago. Okay? So she said it's when Rhea and Sonya was making everyone horny. They was making y'all horny. I'm cool. She said, yeah, because I didn't watch that one. Yeah, I was cool. I was cool. I wasn't on my, my lesbian top shit that day. I'm not as attracted to Rhea as everybody else is. I find her to be very beautiful. Of course, she's a beautiful woman, as is Sonya, but I'm not attracted to them in a sexual way, in any way, shape, or form. But if you are, love that for you. Love that. Didgeridoo, wallaby. Anyway, so there are going to be some matches set up for this, and obviously Roman coming back after Fastlane, moving into this new space. They've got to start moving into a space where Roman knows who the person is that was traded to Smackdown, and they move forward accordingly. Okay, so there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Not me, everyone else. I used to be, but not now. I mean, everybody's still infatuated with Rhea Ripley because she does sexually suggestive stuff, but whatever. I don't give a shit. All right. So the next pay-per-views that are going to be announced, or the next pay-per-views that we're going to be seeing, is Survivor Series is going to be on November 25th. It's going to be in Chicago. A lot of people are expecting CM Punk to pop up there. I don't know if he will, but there's a little birdie that told me a bunch of AEW contracts are coming up. Ricky Starks. Who else's contract is up? It's a couple other people, Keith Lee, and a couple other people's contracts who are up. And them people might be jumping ship, baby. I don't know. I hope it's Keith Lee, because Keith Lee been in the gym. He's starting to get real svelte. You know what I'm saying? And I would love to see Keith Lee come back in a Triple H ran WWE. Oh, that hits. I don't care what nobody say. I want my Limitless King back. You kiss my ass. I don't care. I love me a little contact. I like it. Which is weird if you think about it. Well, I mean, Tisha said, agreed. Rhea is gorgeous, but I don't want to rub pussies with the bitch. Censor yourself, lady. I also want Keith back. I feel like he would do so much better in a Triple H ran WWE. I know, probably address this. What? What happened? What I do? But do you think Rhea planted the seed? Planted the seed for what, babe? Because I saw you say that in the group chat, and I didn't really understand what you meant. So I want to know what you mean. Elaborate, if you will, my friend. And I'm gonna move into the next pay-per-views, and then I got you. We can finish discussing it. So NXT is having their final pay-per-view after JD versus the Bloodline. Yes, I do believe that. Okay, so I thought you was thinking about something else. But yes, I do think that she planted that seed. That's happening at Survivor Series this year. The Bloodline is going to be to War Games what fucking Undisputed Era was to the War Games. And I really want them to move out of that space once the Bloodline and Judgment Day is busted up, because I'm telling you right now, that is not something that I want to see. And I'm going to be pissed because the last 2 War Games matches, the last 4, both men and women have not been good. The women's match for War Games last year was okay. It wasn't bad. It was okay. But I wanted it to go balls to the wall like they did at NXT, and they did it, and I was so pissed off. They haven't done anything with Keith, and you know he wants to be around Mia more. I think he should bounce. Maybe I could see it dying, because she was like, we'll see who's worth acknowledging, JD versus the Bloodline. Girl, I mean, if you're going to be in it, then sure, whatever. Keith, Ricky, Sheeta, Thunder Rosa, and one more person, I think. I don't think Sheeta's going nowhere. She's going to resign. I do think that Keith is leaving for sure. Thunder Rosa might walk because she's not happy in that locker room, and I don't think it's fair to her for her to be back there. And I think she would do a lot better being a trainer and possibly being a backstage producer in WWE, in my humble opinion. Sheeta, like I said, is not going nowhere. Ricky is a wild card for me. I think Ricky is more loyal to AEW than people think he is, and I think he's going to resign. Nicole doesn't, but I think he's going to resign. But I do agree with you, Don. I do think that Rhea Ripley planted that seed, and that's happening. It may also happen with Rhea being in blood inside the War Games match this year. She might be the leader of her War Games match, and they might set it up so that the 4 girls that was fighting against her, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez might be on the other side. Liv might be back by then. And they might put the tag team titles in that corner with them and make it so that it's even kill. They might put Natalya on the team with Rhea. You know, they could shake some shit up. Save Bloodline for versus JD for a later date, because the Survivor Series match, always happening, Alexis. You tell me what else they can do with it. That you're not going to put LWO inside that cage, because you haven't done anything to build LWO up, and they're the only other faction in the WWE outside of Bobby Lashley's faction. They're the only other faction that would actually work in that type of environment. They're the only one. So you don't have anybody else to make it work. And if you're talking about the battle for power, that shit builds itself because Bloodline is already weakened. They don't have no help. But if Roman was smart, he would enlist Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits to go up against Judgment Day. That's what I would do. If I was Roman and I'm the tribal chief, it'd be me and Lashley. And I'm like, yo, if we win, Lashley, I got you on a title shot, my guy. I got you.
You're not gonna win it, but I got you.
But I got you. You feel me? That's how I would do it. It'd be me, Lashley, the Street Profits. That's 4. Solo and Jey Uso. That's 6. Okay. Give them. You got JD, Dom. You've got Finn. You've got Damian Priest. Throw them Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. There you go. 6 people. No, but after what we saw at the end of SD, all the faces need are 2 more guys. I don't think John Cena's gonna be around long enough to be inside the give me a cord, my cord for this, because it's hold on. John Cena is not gonna stick around long enough to be a part of the War Games match. Furthermore, that match is fucking brutal. And as much as I love John Cena, that's not fucking smart for him to go into a match. And he know, even though the writer's strike is up, the actor's strike is still visible. When that strike lets up, everything goes back into full circle. They're going to be filming shit back to back for the next 2 years to catch up. So John Cena's not going to risk himself getting injured inside that kind of match. No, he's not going in War Games. That's not happening. I don't think that he's gonna stick around long enough to be inside of that kind of match. I do think that that Cody might do it if they do it that way. I do think that Cody might do it, but John Cena always has at least one Christmas thing. His one match is the match that he's having right now at Fastlane. He is not going to be wrestling in that match at Survivor Series. It's too risky. You have to remember, not only is he still signed as a WWE superstar, but John Cena he has a life insurance, he has a policy, and he's insured by those I can't even talk. John Cena is also insured by the movie studios that he has to work for. You still got to maintain that contract. It's too risky for him to do something like that. A regular one-off match, it's fine. He might, suffer a little knee tweak here or there. That's why he's not in that match and doing a lot. He'll do his signature move and then he's done it over with. I don't think it's going to go down like what we saw in the ring today. Do I think that they could probably switch it around from what I thought and have Jey Uso come in there and make it so that it's JD in the Bloodline versus another set of faces? Sure. 100%. But John Cena, he not going to be there. I think Ray's partner may be Dragon Lee. Sorry to get off topic, but that just popped into my head. You know what, Tirza? You might be right. It probably is going to be Dragon Lee because he's the next best thing they got on the roster right now. And there's nobody else that they haven't used except for Cameron. And Cameron just ain't built up enough to be there. Or Trick could come up for it as a payback on Dom. Yeah, you can pull Trick up for that kind of match, but you already got Dragon Lee on the card. I use Dragon Lee in there if I was doing that. There's many ways for this to work out, but I never would have put Bloodline and JD on the same team, although it's very possible. That's very possible. She said, yeah, put the youngins in War Games. You know what I'm saying? Because John Cena too old to begin flung around like that in that War Games match. That War Games match is dangerous. Yeah, it was either Dragon Lee or Axiom for me, Tirza. I wouldn't have went to Axiom. Axiom is a bit far-fetched. Dragon Lee is within arm's length. I think it's Dragon Lee. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are great choices. I think Grayson Waller and Austin Theory could round it out if they were to do it Bloodline versus JD. And they could brand that shit with the battle of WWE. Who wins control of WWE? You feel what I'm saying? I would do that. That's just me. Well, then there's going to be infighting between JD and Bloodline on who's going to represent them because War Games ain't that big. They can have a 12-on-12, a 6-on-6 match. As long as it's 6 of them on each side, that's 12 men in the ring. I don't see nothing wrong with that. It was 5-on-5 last time, wasn't it, babe?
I think so.
It was Jimmy, Jay, Solo, Roman, and and Sammy. Kevin, Sheamus, Drew, Butch, and Ridge. Right? Am I wrong?
No. Because you had the Brawling Brutes.
Yeah, all of them, Drew and Kevin. I knew it. On paper, it looked fire, right? But something about that match was just off to me. Like, the whole match just was not hitting the way it should have. And I was like, what did y'all do? You know what I'm saying? Like, they just made the energy wrong. Ain't nobody willing to die in the match or nothing, Jerry. We just like, what the fuck? What? You supposed to be throwing caution to the wind. The only one that was doing that was Becky and Rhea. I think. I thought it was Drew and Kevin. Yeah, John pushing 50. He ain't touching War Games. That's what I'm saying. Jay, Cody, LA Knight, Trick Williams, and Mello. I like where your mind is going, Alexis. But I don't think that WWE is going to put Trick and Mello on the main roster just yet. Not for that kind of match. Personally, I think by then, Trick is going to get a rematch for that title. I also think that by Stand and Deliver, Dominic Mysterio will not be North American champion anymore. Now, they could throw a monkey wrench at us and have Wesley debut at Fastlane and be Weston and their partner. You know what I'm saying? Because Wesley haven't been seen since he left. They could throw a little monkey wrench at us. They've been hitting us with shit for the last 2 weeks. You feel me? Mm-hmm. LWO needs something. Yeah. Anything, Austin and Grayson. It was them, Drew and Kevin. Yeah. He said it was more storytelling thing than the match. That's my point, though. And War Games is not like that. War Games is supposed to be about brutality. War Games, the match, the story for War Games is already told, baby. We don't need you to tell no stories. No. Now, if you want to add a little piece, that's cool. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Do that, but don't make War Games the sole reason you tell the story of Sammy finally giving in to the bloodline. Like, we already knew he was there, honey. All you had to do was further the story, not tell a damn story. You're supposed to be throwing caution to the wind. I want to see bodies. I want to see some Franklin shit. I want to see niggas dying. It's called War Games, not bitch out. Stop playing with me. Y'all can say what y'all want to about Undisputed Era being in War Games all the time, but them niggas hit. They was going in there and they was Roderick Strong and them was ready to die. They was ready to die under the Undisputed Era every single time. Be it villain or face, they did not give a damn. They was in there ready to die. Every time. Johnny Gargano and Ciampa, y'all can say what y'all want to, but them boys used to go in there ready to die. It was me and you against the world, baby. Might be my last time. Let's go in there and kill these motherfuckers. All right, cool. They was always on it. They was with the shits. I want to see some bullshit. Shit. Okay. I thought it was more people in JD bloodline side. No, it was just JD McDonough, Damian Priest, Finn, Dom, Solo, and Jimmy. That's all that's over there. So they got enough people. If they was to leave it where the bloodline and JD was joining forces, but I like it where they going against each other. If I'm being fair, I see JD and Dom versus Bloodline Grayson, Austin Grayson. Two heel factions going at it. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Not pulling up 100, pulling them up, not pulling them up 100% like what Kevin did at NXT for War Games that one year. Oh, okay, I get what you mean. Got it. That's why I say I prefer brand versus brand. Okay, I get where you're coming from, Don, but with it not being brand versus brand, you got a little bit more wiggle room to make shit work. You feel me? I just need Bloodline not to be in War Games again next year. We want Carnage. Thank you, Alexis. You feel me? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Because he could have proved himself while Roman could have been like, don't let my motherfucking show fail. Exactly. That's my point. They got my baby upset. He real down on himself.
You can't get down on stuff like that. That one's not on him.
When you in the morning, you need to call him. You got his phone number? I got his phone number. I'll text it to you.
All right.
Make Terry Funk proud of you. Period.
I understand why his coach will put him on the inside like that. That makes absolutely no goddamn sense.
He said, "Oh, I really don't care about the show. Don't let the bloodline fail." That's it. That should have been it. Johnny and Ciampa would go all out. All I want is throwdowns and maybe a few trash cans. I want them to fight. I want to see carnage. I want to see bodies. I want people falling out. You ain't got to jump off the steel cage, but I don't mind that. All I'm saying is I want some real shit going down. I do not want no bullshit. Give me a good mix of girls and a good mix of guys. Put Candace in that damn Survivor Series match. I don't care if she ain't got no build up. Put her ass in there. She is going to oversell everything. It's going to be fun to watch her. Make it work. Put Bianca ass in there. Bianca done been in War Games before. Put her in there. Put Asuka in there. Put Charlotte in War Games this year. Stop playing with us. She said, I want blood. I want it to look like a damn car crash. I want them to smack nickels out of bitches. I want carnage. Give me something worthwhile. Do not give me what you gave me last year for War Games. I am not playing. Kratos, get your shit together. All right. Elimination Chamber is in February this year. They are going to Perth. More than likely, Rhea Ripley will be defending her title in Elimination Chamber. So be mindful of that. Okay. Now, Royal Rumble for this year, I don't know where they're going to be. So I'm going to use one of the old Royal Rumble. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Because I forgot that it's in 2024, child. Yeah, they're going to Tampa Bay, Florida for Royal Rumble this year. So we love that for them.
We don't.
Dron is not a happy camper. It's hot, so of course they're gonna go somewhere warm for Royal Rumble. It's gonna be hot in Australia too for Elimination Chamber.
Royal Rumble's in January.
It's hot in Florida.
Could have went somewhere.
Where else, Jerry? Everywhere else they got a stadium. It's cold outside.
Okay, you go to a stadium with a fucking roof on the inside.
Oh my God. Anyway, y'all, because he is not a happy camper.
What the hell?
Royal Rumble is going to be Saturday, January 27th. It's going to be in Tampa Bay, Florida. We're going to see who wins the Royal Rumble this year. All right. Then we got Elimination Chamber in Perth, Saturday, February 24th, 2024. And then the final boss, WrestleMania 40, is going to be in Philly. All right. And this is going to be the big kahuna for a lot of people. We are hoping, okay, that we have some good matches set up for this, okay? And of course, this year, the final big PLE that is going to be displayed on Peacock is going to be NXT's Deadline. They're going to be in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and this is going to be Saturday, December 9th, just a few days before President Tiffany's birthday. All righty then. She said, I need somebody bleeding like a stuck pig swinging a kendo stick. Okay, you're going too far. Calm down, John Moxley. I need two people on their knees slugging each other with little to no life left, trying to get back to their feet. Now that I can care about. I love that. Florida for Royal Rumble. Yes, it's going to be in Florida. That is Alexis's motherland. She said someone's jealous.
No disrespect to Alexis, but just because it's the Rumble and it's in January don't mean you got to go south every fucking time because it's cold.
Well, they either do that or they go to the West and go to Vegas.
Ain't no damn sense.
Well, it's gonna be almost autumn in February in Australia, so it'll still be warm enough for an open stadium. Well, that's what I said.
We don't get shit.
Well, they're not gonna come here for Royal Rumble.
I'm not expecting them to come here for the Rumble. That's a big four. I get it, but I'm just saying other pay-per-views go on, and y'all just like we go to Detroit.
Now they got to set up so the cities bid for the pay-per-views. And I mean, that's very similar to what happens with the Olympics. So maybe Dan Gilbert got to put up a few ducats so he can get it. But he don't care because the QB booked out and he be happy. He don't give a fuck. All right, y'all. So those are the pay-per-views set up, ready to go for the next couple of months, leading all the way up until April of next year for WrestleMania. Y'all know WrestleMania is 2 nights. They'll make all of those announcements that night. So let's get into Impact and what happened last night on the show. It's going to be very, very quick. I promise we won't have to even upload nothing. I'm just going to go straight to Impact Wrestling's website. All right. I'm going to pull it up so you guys can see it. Those of you who don't care about Impact, thank y'all for coming to the show. I will see you guys in my next one, which will be tomorrow after Fastlane. We'll be talking about Fastlane and where everything is headed by the show. And of course, the premieres are coming up this week. So there we have it. Before the Impact is their pre-show to Impact. And Savannah Evans with Jay Vidal was going up against Jessica with Courtney Rush. Savannah Evans ended up beating Jessica. You had Tasha Steelz, aka Baby Leo, going up against Killer Kelly with her partner Masha Slamovich. They are called MK Ultra. And of course, Tasha Steelz has a partner in Deonna Purrazzo, but Deonna Purrazzo didn't show up in this match until later on. For the most part, Tasha and Killer Kelly were going at it. They were going back and forth, and it was a pretty decent match between the two. But ultimately, Tasha was able to pick up the win due to distraction from Deonna Purrazzo, and that was it. So the girls seem to have won an opportunity to go up against MK Ultra at Bound for Glory. It's going to be Tasha Steelz versus Deonna Purrazzo versus MK Ultra for the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. Now, to keep y'all out of the bullshit and just literally going into what was happening on Impact, I'll run through it very quickly. The Good Hands are down a partner. One of the members of the Good Hands are injured, and they ended up needing a partner. Jay Vidal ended up being selected for that partner because he cost Giselle Shaw her match last week. So Jay Vidal joined with the other member of the Good Hands, and they were going up against Chris Bay and Ace Austin, ABC, in a fans revenge strap match. And the way that works is the fans are selected to surround the ring and they are given straps. Whoever hits the floor is at their discretion that they hit the respective wrestler who is on the floor. That was probably the best part of the show, was the fans revenge match. They gave Jay Vidal and the dude from the Good Hands the ass whooping they both deserve. But what you're looking at right here is an old ass fart in Tommy Dreamer, who is currently the digital media champion, which is another conversation for another day, and Crazy Steve. You see, Crazy Steve has gone through a bit of a transformation, and now he's even more sinister and volatile than he was before. He's all on his own. He has no counterparts with him, and he is being even more scary. And this time, Tommy Dreamer tried to appeal to the human side of Crazy Steve, but Crazy Steve wasn't trying to hear it. You could clearly see that he was overacting and being very overly gracious to Tommy Dreamer. He ended up hugging him and stabbing him in his back with a fork. It took some of the superstars coming out there to get Tommy Dreamer out of there, but ultimately he had a fork stabbed in his back. I don't know what his obsession with fucking forks is, but the man has some type of obsession with forks. Okay, it was very, very interesting. She said, just mad because come January, there'll be no sports going on in Cleveland. You see, I don't know why you talking about January not having no sports when, first of all, our basketball team is solid. I can't say that about no other team where the Orlando Magic's trash. Okay? When it comes to football, will we still be playing football? It's possible that we could be in the playoffs, so I wouldn't say that. Ain't gonna be no sports playing in Cleveland come January. We always got sports going, baby. That may not be what happens for you, but it happens for us. Now, y'all football team is doing pretty good. Tua is doing okay. And you got a couple Tampa Bay Pirates. They're not doing so hot. But I wouldn't be so surprised. I wouldn't be so cocky because a lot could change in a few months. And come January, basketball will always be superior in Cleveland. And whether we make it to the playoffs or not, it's up to you. Come football, that may not be the case. We make it in the playoffs, but y'all ain't going either. So Chris Bay diving out and the fans living for him. I was thinking it was the four of us on the floor of the show. We be flaunting over. It's the Buccaneers. They're pirates. Are Buccaneers not pirates? They're pirates. They're pirates. They're swashbucklers. They're pirates. So Impact had a 10-person tag team match to decide who would go into the next phase of the Choose Your Shot match and where they would place. Whoever wins in next week's Fatal 5-Way gets to be determined as to where they go. If they win, are you going to get placement number 1 or are you going to get placement number 20? It truly depends on what happens in this 5-man match next week. This week, we had to determine who was going to be in that fatal five-way. So you had Jordan Grace, Jake Something, Dirty Dango, Champagne Singh, Eric Young, all in one on one side. And then you had Brian Myers, Shara, Kylan King, Jody Threat, and Bully Ray on the other. Bully Ray, Kylan King, Jody Threat, Shara, and Brian Myers all lost to Jake Something, Dirty Dango, Champagne Singh, Eric Young, and Jordan Grace. Next week, this 5 with Something and Jordan Grace, Young, Dirty Dango, and Singh will fight to determine who's going to gain that number 1 slot and that 20 slot. Now, moving on, they had a little conversation with Alexander. Sorry. I always mess up his name. They had a little conversation with Alexander. Alexander was going up against Khan, and Alex Shelley made it very clear that having a champion's mindset could be very dangerous. He knew that Diener was coming out there with Khan, so he offered to be out there to even the odds for Alexander. Alexander wasn't exactly okay with this, but he didn't say anything against it, okay? Now, they ran a video package for Mickie James and Trinity Fatu. Trinity made it very clear that while her and Mickie James are more than just opponents and co-workers, they are very good friends. And she knew that at some point Mickie was going to make a challenge toward her, and she was happy to oblige. But she said, make no mistake, I'm the Knockouts champion, and I'm leaving Bound for Glory as the Knockouts champion. We gonna see, but I'm rooting for Trin on this one. I want her to beat Mickie James and win that championship. Now, we have ABC versus Skylar of the Good Hands and Jay Vidal, okay? This was a fans' revenge match, and they made it a strap match. Them fans whipped Skylar and Jay Vidal's asses, okay? They tore them babies up. They was getting their asses whipped. If you want to see it, you can pop on over to my Instagram. My Instagram is scrolling here on the bottom, okay? It is what it is. Yeah, if Florida is iffy this season, I don't care about the Magic. Hockey season is coming up soon. Well, you said no sports, and we have sports in Cleveland outside of football. So, Steelers already got their rings, baby. That has nothing to do with me. That's not Brown country. That's Steeler country. You thinking on the left. You need to come on over to the right a little bit. You're a little too far over, babe. Hello, young boy Jay. They have a hockey team? I thought all of their ice was melted. That's fucked up. And they're 2-time Super Bowl champs. Who are we talking about? Are we talking about your team, or are we talking about the Steelers? Because I'm not counting championships of my opponents. I can give less than a damn what the Steelers got. We don't care about that. Yeah, the Tampa Bay Lightning have won the Stanley Cup multiple times. We don't have a hockey team here, babe. So hockey don't mean nothing to me. And the Buccaneers, I'm uninformed on boxing on ice, not boxing on ice. Is a Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers is a pirate that raided Spanish ships and sometimes privateers who attacked the enemy of their estate, which was Spain. The Buccaneers, because they're 2-time Super Bowl champs. So you had to go get Tom Brady, who's a known cheater, to go down there and get y'all 2 rings, because you couldn't do it without Tom Brady. So if we're going to call a spade, you can have your 2 rings. I'm happy for you. Congratulations. We didn't need Brady the first time. Did you? Cleveland has a Super Bowl. ring. It's an old one, but we have one. So it's not like we've never won the Super Bowl before. It just didn't happen when I was watching football. Now, it is what it is. Still pirates. How fitting. I mean, they're pirates. Swashbucklers. Deck swabbers. Rum drinking thieves, as we call them. And he needed us more than we needed them. Bro couldn't even handle day drinking. He handled it enough to win that damn championship. So I don't know. I'm just causing it like I sees it. Chris Bay and Austin Ace ended up winning. Ace Austin, ended up beating John Skyler and Jay Vidal in the fans revenge match. It was a fun match to watch. I liked it. Moose went up against Bhupinder Jugar. I think that's how you say his name. I'm sorry, sweetheart, if I'm messing your name up. I didn't watch this match because I don't fuck with Moose like that. It was a pretty quick match. There really wasn't much to it. Steve Macklin came out there and told Moose he needed to give him his Feast or Fire briefcase or he was gonna take it from him. He ended up leaving after PCO came out there, which I don't understand. I don't get it. Impact usually hit, but they keep bringing PCO back from the dead. I wish they would let him be where he is. He ended up running away from PCO, but Rhino gored his ass right there on the top of the key. It was bad. Baby tore his ass up, honey, okay? And backstage, ABC got done with the Good Hands and Jay Vidal, and they was just like, we're challenging the Impact World Tag Team Champions at Bound for Glory for the titles. So, Rich Swann and Sami Callihan walked up and was like, wait a minute. Y'all need to hold your horses because we beat them before. We need a championship match. So Santino Marella was like, fine, next week it's gonna be Sami Callihan versus the Rascals with Rich Swann. And y'all, if y'all win, y'all will head to Bound for Glory and go up against ABC. If you don't, the current tag team champions will go up against ABC. They did a video package for Chris Sabin as the current X Division champion going up against Kenta for the X Division championship at Bound for Glory. Like I said, this match was scheduled for Bound for Glory, and then you had this match. Josh Alexander was going up against Khan with Diener. For the most part, the match was okay until some miscommunication happened outside the ring with Alex Shelley. He didn't like it. He ended up getting hit by accident, and he didn't like it. He took offense to it. He got in the ring after Josh Alexander beat Khan, and he attacked Josh Alexander and took him out. So Josh Alexander, and they call his move. Yeah, it says a massive C4 spike takes down the Designs monster. That C4 spike came from Josh Alexander, and then Alex Shelley came in the ring and hit Josh Alexander with his move called the Shell Shock. It's a pretty dope move, if you ask me. And that was it. That was the end of this show. She said, nah, because we had Al Scott, Lynch, Dunn, Johnson, Pittman, Brooks, Barber, Rice, and Sapp, so suck it. Oh, you mean your first championship? Is it the current one? Because some of those people were there, and he also brought people with him that they signed so that you guys could win the championship when he was there. I remember because AJ told me. So even though you had good people on the team, which usually happens, you still didn't have a solid quarterback until Tom Brady got there, which says a lot because Tom Brady wasn't even in his prime. But ultimately, Tom Brady won the championship. And if we're being fair, mainly because there was a lot of bad calls in that game, number one. And number two, there was a lack of capitalizing on turnovers in that game as well for the other team. I remember because I watched it. I saw it. and Gerald Vicious. Rhino is still there. Yes, he is. And y'all do have a hockey team, Columbus Blue Jackets. That's in Columbus. I live in Cleveland. Two totally different cities. We're 2 hours apart, and our teams do not root for each other. Didn't you guys have the biggest washout in NFL history with Johnny Football? You're mistaken. And while Johnny Football may have washed out, we've had other people wash out too, but you guys haven't been talked about in years. Despite me being washed out with Johnny Football, weren't you guys irrelevant a few years ago? Nobody was talking about the Buccaneers. You guys sucked for years. At least in my sucking, I was in conversation. You guys were just there. You were just a team to play, to beat. We can go at this all day. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. I'm not an idiot. I know exactly who I'm rooting for, and I know where I live in my wheelhouse of Delulu, but I'm also not stupid, okay? I fully remember everything. We might have had a washout in Johnny Football, but what does that have to do with the Cleveland Browns? He's the one who sucked, not us. We didn't suck. He did. And not only that, we had a couple people wash out. Brady Quinn. What was the other guy that had it? A bunch of stuff. Like, we had a bunch of quarterbacks wash out. He's not the only one. He's a long line of fucking losers who were quarterbacks for Cleveland. But at the same time, we still made noise. Despite being losers, we made noise. I can't say the same for the Buccaneers. Might have been the rum. IDK if this is going to go down well. Still better than the Cowboys in Detroit. I won't say that about the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are doing pretty good this year. They blowing niggas out the water. As are the Cowboys this year. But they usually is how it starts for the Cowboys. They do pretty good. And then they go to the ground. It's pretty sad. I don't remember if Tebow came to Cleveland. He might have. He may have. Let me check. We had a lot of people wash out in Cleveland. It happens. I'm trying to tell you. Tim Tebow played for. Let me see. What? He was born in the Philippines? Crazy. It's hot as monkey balls in here. Nope, he played for Denver and the New York Jets. He did not play for us. Yep, Denver and the Jets. He didn't play for us. 2011 for Denver, 2012 for the Jets, and 2010 for Denver as well, if I recall. But he didn't play for us. Sorry to burst your football bubble. It wasn't us. Well, then you should know. Why are you having a pissing match with me about football then? You know how this is going to play out. I'm a Browns fan. I'm going to always ride for my team every day of the week. I don't care if they're in the bottom of the dumps losing. They're my team. I have other teams I root for, but that's home. I'm always going to root for the Browns. And I'm always going to piss on anybody else who tries to say some dirty shit about my boys. That's just who I am. And don't even get me started on college, because I'll kill you over to Ohio State. Ohio State is always going to be the team. I don't give a damn about nobody else except for Oregon. They're the only ones that I will pop for. The only ones. If you say anything about Michigan, that's your ass. No, Cowboys fans are crazy. They're insane. They're absolutely insane. They're out of their minds. So that's it. That was wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. You got 2 shows today for the price of 1. We watched Impact. We loved Impact. If you want to see my thoughts on Impact, all you have to do is head on over to Instagram. I did not upload my Impact this week for TikTok, but I still might because I have the videos, I think. So I still might upload those videos on TikTok. I also have the Smackdown videos this week, so I probably will upload those as well. My TikTok is the same, but it's Psych Design 2, I think, for TikTok. Let me check. Her. Yeah, it's Psych Design 2. There's no TV in there because TikTok was being petty and took down my videos on my other one. I appreciate that. Thank you. Y'all get real in y'all feelings when y'all favorites don't get praised like you want. But the reality is wrestling, and sometimes your favorites have terrible matches, and I'm going to call it out what the fuck I see. What the fuck is a Buckeye? A nut you can't eat? First of all, don't you disrespect me, okay? Don't you disrespect me. Don't worry about what a Buckeye is, bitch. Just know that we gonna dominate like we always do. Don't you worry about it. I do you like Miss Pearly did it next Friday. Don't you worry about it, bitch. I know somebody like it. It is a nut here in Ohio, and we also make candy that has a similar look and aesthetic to the Buckeye. But she ain't gonna be trying me like this. Get out my business. It definitely is candy, but she said me and Tim gonna end up in one War Games match, a one-on-one War Games match. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. Period. I was on TikTok and I was watching this match between Andrade and Jay White. This match happened a few weeks ago, and I uploaded it to TikTok, and some idiot came on there and basically was like, you don't know what you're talking about. Jay White is goated. He's beating everybody in New Japan. I'm like, that's great for him in New Japan, but in this match, he looked sloppy. It wasn't good. Sorry, not sorry. What do you want me to say to that? So because he's great in New Japan, he had an amazing match against Andrade, he definitely did not. And just because you want to watch TV with rose-colored glasses doesn't mean that I should. So mind your fucking business. You don't like what I'm saying? Keep on scrolling, bitch. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to say what I want. It had the audacity to post the shit twice. Like, I wasn't going to read the original comment. Like, what is you talking about? She said, I'm not afraid. I'll make John Moxley jealous. Well, come on, bitch. Bring it on. Bring it on, dear shit. Let's go. Let's go. TikTok wrestling fans are weird, man. They're just a different breed of delusion. And I'm just not with the shits. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Please make sure you tune in to the podcast. Alexis did a bang up job on what had happened was. She talked about Halloween Havoc 1998. It's a really interesting story. I'm really glad that she did it. Let me look at and see how well it did this last week. Oh, it did great. It did good. So I'm going to leave it up there. I hope you guys go and listen to it. It's definitely something for you to listen to. She really took her time, walked you through what happened on the events of that show and everything that occurred with everybody. She gave you a good, solid show. It was pretty short, sweet, not a lot going. She didn't keep you there long. So if you got a quick moment or you need help studying or whatever, you can go ahead and listen to what had happened was on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And she's going to tell you all about Halloween Havoc, babes. It's fun. We live. And tonight I'm going to post the recap of Fastlane and give you guys all the deets and the rundown for Fastlane tomorrow. So if you want to listen to that, I'm going to do it really quickly tonight and get it up. It's going to have a short view count because I didn't do it when I was supposed to. But I'm going to do it right now and get it up and get it out there. And you guys, I will see you guys tomorrow after Fastlane is over and we'll talk about everything that's going on. All righty? Make sure you guys follow us on our socials. The socials are right here. You guys. She said, I talk shit about my faves if they suck in the match, as you should. She did do a good job. I'm really proud of her. You should definitely go and listen to it if you haven't listened to it already. It's really good. Okay, so I'm going to go. I'll see you guys tomorrow after Fastlane. Fastlane starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, okay? So just in case you guys don't remember, this is the show. This is coming on tomorrow. It actually starts at 7:30 for the pre-show, but it starts at 8 for the actual show, all right? These are the matches for that card. We're going to run through them real fast. The girls, tag teams, 6-man tag team. That one is missing an opponent. We're going to see if Dragon Lee is going to be that opponent. Another tag team with John Cena, LA Knight. And, of course, the final big kahuna. This is the World Heavyweight Championship. And it's going to be Seth freaking Rollins versus Shinsuke in a last man standing match. I'll see you guys tomorrow after the show. I hope you enjoyed this show. And I got to go. Peace.